Hola familia! I'm back with another video. I thought it would be really cool if I did a get to know me kind of video. I asked on my social medias if you had questions or things that you wanted to get to know about me, and I listened. I wrote them all down here. I thought it would be a fun way to wind down this Sunday. Hubby's upstairs putting the babies to bed, so it's the perfect time for me to film. While I sip on some wine and you hear my deep, dark secrets. No, I'm kidding. There's a couple juicy questions, but for the most part, they're just get to know me questions. So pause the video right now, get yourself a cup of wine, and we will start away. So I'm not gonna go in any particular order. I'm just gonna start the questions off slow and then I guess leave the more juicier ones to the end. So first question we have here, where are you from? That's a simple question. I was born in Corona, California. I grew up in Riverside, and then my family moved to Arizona when I was I had my 10th birthday out here. So a little bit before my 10th birthday, I was probably here no more than 6 months. Pretty much just tell people I was born in California, and I'm like an Arizonian girl now, so I embrace it. How old are you? So currently right now I am 25. My birthday is on June 28th, so I'll be 26 very soon. What breed of dogs do you have and what are their names? So I have two boxers. Ari is 3 years old. She's gonna be 4. She's gonna be 4 this year, actually. She is a fawn. We got her from, I bought her from my parents, and then they couldn't keep up with the big dogs, so I bought her back from them, and yeah, she's been with us pretty much ever since. We got her around the same time that we were pregnant with Brienne, so they've kind of been growing up together. And we liked it so much that we wanted to get a second dog, and adding a second dog to our family was literally like the best thing we could have done. So our second dog in our family, her name is Sedona. She is a brindle boxer. She's about 7 months, so she's fairly new to our home. Actually, we came to acquire her in a sad but special way. We had another boxer that passed away, unfortunately, of a heart attack back in October, and I shared my story on a Facebook group that I'm in for boxer parents, and this lovely lady said if we would fly out to Dallas, we flew into Dallas, that she would drive up and she would give us a puppy. So that's how we acquired Miss Sedona. So our puppy that passed away, her name was Phoenix, and the lovely lady's name is Itza. So thank you so much. We still really appreciate you giving us our puppy. Next question. What are your son and daughter into right now? So my daughter is 4, or she'll be 4 in July, so she's pretty much almost 4. She loves anything girly. She loves tutus, dancing, unicorns, nail polish. She wants a makeup vanity. She wants a Barbie dream house. She told me and my husband the other day she wants a full-on $120 Barbie dream house. I was like, Lord child, we are in for it with this one. So she's just very girly. She just likes anything girly and pink. Pink is her absolute favorite color, which is really funny because that's my least favorite color. I despise pink. I think it's like too girly, but she kind of makes me like pink a little bit. And my son, he just turned 2. He is obviously more rougher and tougher. He likes cars. He actually likes to sing. He sings along with pretty much all his cartoons, and Brienne has like a microphone and he's always taking the microphone and singing. But he likes cars. They both are into little people and kind of like playing in the houses and stuff like that. He loves balls. They both love to play outside a lot. So yeah, they're just, I'd say, pretty typical. They play a lot together and they have pretty good imagination, so I'm lucky that they, are so close in age. Which brings me to my next question. The next question is it true that 2 kids are easier than 1? So obviously I had my kids. My kids are a year and 8 months apart. So when Brienne was about 9 or 10 months is when we found out that we were pregnant with Elias. And we always knew we wanted multiple kids, but I was definitely shocked to say the least. We were like in a bit of a denial when the test came back positive. We were just like, okay, well, obviously there's no going back. Like, we knew we wanted to, maybe not this soon, but we're here. We gotta push through. And actually having them so close in age was the best thing that could have happened to our family. in the beginning, it was very, very tough. Like, Brianne she wasn't potty trained. She still had a pacifier. Like, she was still a baby herself, you know. So to be pregnant with the baby was very draining for myself. I didn't have the same luxury of like resting as I did when I was pregnant with Brianne. But all in all, as they've gotten bigger, it's just been better and better for our family. Like, they play together, and as soon as they were able to kind of like, Elias was able to like fend for himself, kind of like be self-sufficient, I was able to do more things around the house, and they were able to just kind of occupy each other's time. And they're really, really close. They love each other a lot. They always protect each other when we go like out or when we're around other kids. They're very protective of each other. So I'm very blessed to have my husband and my kids and be able to raise them in a good, godly way. So I'm very blessed for that. I have to mark them off or I'm gonna forget. Okay, I got a next one. The next question is, how did you meet your husband? So, known Paul since we were like 16 or 17. We did not go to the same high school, but luckily my best friend's name is Ariel Williams. Shout out to Beauty Box by Ella. She actually worked at Jack in the Box, and he worked there. That was like one of her first jobs, and they worked at one of the same locations. And they were like constantly talking like 24/7, like all the time. I was like low-key jealous. I'm like, she's my best friend and he's trying to take her from me. So eventually we met, and we just became really good friends, and we pretty much kind of stayed in contact throughout high school. I mean, he had other girlfriends, I had other boyfriends, and you know, we just went through life not thinking our paths were gonna lead back to each other. But you know, God obviously had us written in fate, because in 2015 Paul liked a bunch of my Facebook photos. That was like the hint that he wanted to slide in the DMs. But I actually messaged him first, and then pretty much since September 21st, 2015, we have not stopped talking. And 3 months later, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and then a year later, we were married. So yeah, it's been a fun ride. We have 5 years married in November, and 6 years together. So we are very blessed, and we can't wait to see how many more years we get to have together. So cheers, Ariel. You got a speech coming in my bowel renewals, so get ready. How do you balance a healthy marriage and kids? So I feel like this is we're getting into like the more juicy questions. This is a very big question, and I feel like the answer is relatively simple. You were a wife before you became a mother, and it's just very important and imperative to remember who you are, and you were a wife first. So even though, especially when your kids are younger, you are going to want to be devoting all of your time to them, obviously they're going to need you for pretty much everything until they can like walk and talk and do things by themselves, probably my kids are still at an age where they still need me a lot. So probably I would assume until maybe Brianne's like 5 or 6, when they start going to school, is when they really kind of become more self-sufficient. But in the beginning, obviously they need you a lot, and you just have to remember to, just like I say for my fitness, where I'm going to put 30 minutes aside to designate to myself, it's going to be the same thing for you and your husband. You're going to have to put that time into your marriage, and you know, those small little things that you guys used to do for each other before, they might not come so easy. So you just have to be really intentional. You have to be really intentional with showing your spouse that, you know, you still love them. They're still the thing that gets you going, you know. Paul and I, we put the kids to sleep early so that we can spend time together watching movies. We take turns picking shows, so that way we're both, you know, getting things that we, you know, both like, watching things that we like. And we compromise a lot, honestly. I mean, he's probably a better compromiser than me, but we're always willing to put each other first. And I think that that's what true love is, when you're willing to sacrifice. Actually, that's what the Bible says. When you're willing to put someone else's needs and wants in front of your own, then when you can sacrifice, you're truly in love. So that'd be my best advice. And actually my mom, she told me, put the kids to bed early. Don't forget to, you know, shout out Gina. I'm going to put these two questions together. So what is it like being a great mom, but also wanting to be the best version of yourself? And can a young woman have it all: career, healthy marriage, kids, and self-care? So first of all, thank you for thinking I'm a great mom. I appreciate you, girl. Yes, I think it is very possible. Are there days that I feel like it's impossible? Probably every other day. But the thing is, I'm so grateful for what I do have, and it's about focusing on the times that you're thriving, basically, and just really appreciating those moments and not letting yourself stay in the moments where something's not going the way you wanted or plans have changed. For me, that's a hard thing to deal with, is like plans changing and coping. It gives me a lot of anxiety, but it's something that I'm aware of and it's something that I'm working on. So as long as I'm being intentional and understanding that sometimes, you will fall down, but you just got to keep getting back up, and no one else can make you happy. You and God, basically, God's the only thing that can keep you on the right track and keep you happy. Everything that I am revolves around my faith, my fitness, my kids, my marriage, all of that revolves around my faith. So it is very possible with Jesus at your side to have all of that and to thrive, as long as you're putting him first and you're living out his will, and he will provide and make sure you have everything and endless happiness. So yeah, I feel like it is very, very possible. What are your biggest goals and how do you plan on executing them? For me, I feel like that was the hardest question to answer out of all of these. I guess I've never really been one to plan too far into the future. It's slightly scary. I feel like if you plan too much and then things don't happen the way you want them to, you kind of get discouraged. But I just have certain ideas of things that I want to see in my future. I don't necessarily have them mapped out or anything like that. Right now, Paul and I, we want to buy a bigger house for our kids. We both want to develop in our careers, and my husband's almost done with school right now, so I'm very, very proud of him, and we can't wait to see what is next in his path and his journey for our family. But myself, I've thought about going back to school. I know I mentioned in my intro that I'm super into nails. Nail school has kind of been something in the back of my head as well, and just going back to school. As a mom, I did have to put some of those wants and dreams on hold just so that I can be there for my family and kind of start my family up. But now that my kids are getting older, it is something that's more in grasps for me. And then now I have you guys, and that's now become part of that dream. I definitely want to continue growing this and seeing what else God has in store for me on this avenue, and reaching people this way. So this is definitely a new goal that I have now in my future. And then last but not least, this question is from a young lady that I worked with at my first job, Rita. Shout out to all my Pizzuto family. Her question is, you have grown into such an amazing, smart, and beautiful woman. What would you say to your 18-year-old self or other young adults? So first of all, babe, thank you so much for the kind words. I really love and appreciate you, and I miss all of our Pizzuto times back then. That was the best first job ever, so I'm grateful to still have connections with those people. Shout out to my mom for getting me the job. But what would I say to my 18-year-old self? Let the boy go. No, I'm kidding. Shots fired. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't have any regrets at all, because I feel like I am where I am today because of what I went through, and I am who I am today because of what I endured. So I don't have regrets, but I would honestly probably say, listen to your parents. That was the one thing I realized as I got older, and now that I'm a mom myself. My parents were right 99.9% of the time. And, I even have had the opportunity to thank my parents and apologize to them for not realizing that. I had to make the mistakes on my own. I realized that, but I would have gotten hurt a lot less along the way. Had I taken their advice a little bit more seriously, I feel like my road would definitely have been less bumpy. So I would just say to all you young people out there, even though it feels like your parents don't know what they're talking about, and when they say, I was young once too, and you're like, yeah, whatever, that was 30 years ago, because trust me, I felt the exact same way. I totally wish I would have listened more to what they had to say And, you know, they've been through it. They're wise. So now my parents are definitely the first people I go to when I have ideas or questions, or I'm scared about something or uncertain. I definitely use them to my advantage now. Also, stay at home as long as you can. Do not move out. Because trying to live on an $11 an hour paycheck is not the business. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure getting to know you today, or you getting to know me. And I can't wait to see you on my next video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Cheers!